it's so nice, you know, like you can just kind of like, and they're not really busy or booked, even if you are in the parks.
Right.
You can just kind of like book one site and stay anywhere, and you can just like at any time paddle in any direction, and the portaging isn't nearly as back-breakingly long as it is in Algonquin, right?
Right. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's a jam for sure. I'm surprised not more people go there, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, it is about 6 hours from Toronto, so that's definitely the cutoff.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, like people from North Bay and Toronto, like when we were up at our Ice Out rookie trip in Algonquin, we bumped in when we were talking to Scott from Adrenaline Adventures. He was saying that like all the sites on Brent on Cedar were booked.
Really?
And yeah, and then you know, when I hear that, I'm like, that's far. I'm like, why wouldn't you just go to Algonquin, right? I think people,
right.
I mean, to Temagami,
yeah.
But especially because you can go there for free. Right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Free options, but I don't know. Yeah, I hear you though. I think it's just like a little more wild.
What's up, guys? You know, we're in Temagami and the bros know people. Mm-hmm. So who are you chatting with right now?
A real fine gentleman named Max Newkaufler, also known as WOODSMANS FINEST on Insta and YouTube. He's used to work at Temagami Outfitters, and just randomly, he was in Europe last time I talked to him, and just randomly he's back in Northern Ontario meeting some friends. And he's going to come and join us at the provincial park. We're going to go for a little paddle, and then when we get back, he should be at our site. So it'll be good to catch up with WOODSMANS FINEST.
You guys like my hat? Funny thing is, I got this hat when I was in the States on vacation, and it fit so nicely on my head. I bought two. I do like America. I just saw a hat that fit nice, and I decided to go for it. A lot of hats are really hard to find a really good fit. A lot of them, you know, I've got a big head, so finding a hat that just fits perfectly is a hard task. So, but I do love our neighbors, just not like a crazy amount, but just enough to see there's trees and stuff, and it's a Columbia hat, so got a whole bunch of things going on with it. So yeah, what a beautiful, beautiful paddle. Never been up to Temagami at all, so just getting this opportunity to get out on the lake and just kind of build our basis of experience and where we go and what we're doing. We're not just in Muskokas or Algonquin. We want to be all over this great country. So Matt's ahead of me, doing the solo thing with Little Red, and I'm just loving this kayak. We're gonna be doing some fishing tomorrow, and we might move campsites to camp on some crown land. Like, I wouldn't be against doing something like that, but we'll see what the consensus is. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go catch up to Matt.
Hey guys, Matt here. Just getting an evening paddle in here on the northeast arm of Temagami Lake, and quite a bit of action, a lot of boats, and I guess all of the islands are private and there's cottages, and then all the mainland, all the shoreline and the forests around there are crowned. So that's really cool. Actually had somebody on Instagram, Friends of Temagami, at Tyranny, I think on Instagram, she had given me a couple ideas on where to go and what to do if we were just going to be camped on the northeast arm. So we're just kind of just popping the cherry right now and just getting a little paddle in and building up a bit of an appetite. And then in the morning we'll get back out and see how far we get on the northeast arm, and maybe even, I'm sure we'll get into the main body of Temagami Lake, and then from there I've been told to maybe check out Diamond Lake, maybe go on to Temagami Island, and Tyranny says check out some of the old growth trails too. So I think that might be around Martin Provincial Park, but anyways, yeah, stay tuned. Back around, because otherwise we'll have to portage back to where the Jeep is. It'll probably be like a 5-minute portage. I'd rather paddle back anyways.
Yeah, we should get that fire ripping while we still have daylight.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good morning, everybody. How'd you sleep, Matt?
I slept okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I tossed and turned a little bit. It got a little cooler than I was hoping, but on my hair looks stupid. Yeah, so we met up with your buddy last night, which is now my buddy. So who did we meet up with?
Yeah, WOODSMANS FINEST on Instagram, and he's a well-known carver, axe maker, knife maker, and an all-around good guy.
Yeah, so he was last night he was giving us some tips and advice for social media and how we can better ourselves and give you guys better content, which in turn was really eye-opening, which is good because we want to continue getting better at doing this stuff and giving you guys maybe a better angle at what we do. Mm-hmm. So where are we headed now?
Now we're headed into the town of Temagami, and I think we're going to go to the outfitter, Temagami Outfitters there, and have a look, maybe spend some money and get some B-roll, get some footage, and just kind of see. Max was telling us last night at how historic this town in this area is. Just Temagami Outfitters is the oldest outfitting company in the world, so it's going to be cool just to go see that.
Yeah, that's something that I'd like to tap into is getting into like the historical side of places that we visit and see, and because there's such a rich history in the various places that we go that sometimes it gets overlooked, and we're not really kind of paying that respect when we're in that environment. So that's something that we should probably start to tap into as we move forward. So we're gonna head in and kind of check out Temagami.
All right, grab a coffee.
trolling right now. Haven't caught anything as of yet. I didn't bother with the fishing rod because just can't be bothered with trying to film, trying to paddle. I'm learning all this stuff, so just taking things one step at a time. There's that wind again. Isn't that great? Stupid wind. And there's boats everywhere. Got this little black fly that's swimming between my legs, that's flying between my legs and just taking what it feels like hunks off my leg. And I go to tell Matt, and Matt's like, what are you talking about? So they're obviously just attracted to me, taking hunks off my leg, making me look silly. Pretty hard.
Like as hard as you could, or like 75%?
75.
Yeah, I was like 90.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got more weight.
Yeah, I think next time I'm gonna be away for a few hours. I gotta get more weight up front. So I've got a 4-liter water bottle, and then I've got this dry sack, but I didn't fill the dry sack right up because I was like, oh, this is more weight than I've ever had in it. But like last night was just mint. Like it was just so easy to move the boat. But now with this wind, it's like a weather vane, right? Okay, so I'm out here in the 14-foot Watson that you're seeing in the other videos, and I've got a 4-liter bottle of water in the front and probably a 30-liter dry sack about half full, and there's a decent wind. It's not crazy, but there's a decent wind, and the front of the boat is still acting like a weather vane. And double blading, I have a lot of control to kind of counteract where the boat is going, so that's really nice. Honestly, I'd probably be all over the place if I was using a kayak blade right now, or rather a canoe blade. But anyways, I'll let you have a look at the setup right here. So don't get me wrong, I'm definitely enjoying being out here right now. It's good to be out in all kinds of weather. It just gets you used to other stuff. And you can probably hear in the background there's the odd boat going back and forth here. And we haven't gotten far away enough from cottages to avoid that. But that's really not what this trip is about. But either way, something that I was reading actually on paddling, the author was saying that the natives would always travel the shorelines. I imagine they did that because they wanted to stay close to shore for safety should they tip, but also, you know, should they see animals, they could take the animals. Should they need to get onto portage routes, they're just right there. And it was more of a European or a white man thing to come into a series of lakes and want to go right across the middle and find the easiest way that, as the crow flies, right across the middle of a big lake. So that's kind of something that I think the Europeans have sort of brought into paddling, and so we're kind of sticking to the shoreline right now, and I don't mind it. I know sometimes you got to get across the lake, but it's influenced the way I'm going to think about my tripping in the future.
if I really want to remove material on here. It's a dangerous tool though. I moved quite a few pieces of my left hand already. That's how these are made. With a ferro rod attachment. And then just, that's like embossed, hand dyed, hand stitched. And of course, that's a prototype full tank Puko I made a couple years ago. That's been through hell. But they're always octagonal so they don't turn in your hand if the thumb scallops. When I was in Wales I actually hollow ground this guy. So it's got a hollow ground Scandi with only these two shoulders you have to sharpen actually, right? So this guy is just wow. Just throws hair. But yeah, the octagonal handle is really important. Because the inside of your hand is not round, right? It's like a faceted surface. So if you have an octagonal handle like that, it just doesn't want to turn in your hand. It just fits it perfectly. As soon as it's too smooth, you always got to cramp down on it because it wants to turn in your hand, right? But with this, no matter if it's wet, bloody, muddy, whatever it is, the spine is really sharp. So you can descale fish without a problem. Sitting really deep, snap in. And it's never above the line of the belt so it doesn't start poking, right? And that's gonna hold up for decades. Of course, a little hip pouch they always have. And those are the new belts from the German leather. Brass buckle made in Italy. But yeah, they're gonna treat this combo pretty hard this summer. I'm just wondering at what point, you know, I need that Scandi. It's a mini Scandi, but at the same time this full height hollow is slicing like nothing. And then the spine is sharp enough. Boom. And I'm just wondering at what point I need to come in with my Scandi grind knife that's like so thick that I can't even cut butter with it. Let's get the ferro. There you go. It's green birch. Look at this. That's done with the spine of a little stainless steel hollow ground knife with a secondary bevel.
How much would that be in Canada?
I don't know.
Euro is what? $1.50 Canadian?
Yeah, something like that. But these guys are great to work with. They're from Lapland. And they just make really, really, really good knives. That's the kind of video I want to make for these guys, you know. Because, yes, you know, I have my Scandis. Nothing wrong with the Scandi, it's just if I have only yeah, of course. It's more a companion. That thing costs what, like 15 euro, 16 euro. Got a Kydex sheath with it. Can exchange the knife indefinitely. This is a stainless steel knife too. Okay, so just because everybody needs carbon steels. Like I like carbon steels for carving. All my knives are from ball bearing steel. But this here, it's stainless through end grain. I put a little notch on the back here with the angle grinder, but it probably works as well with the that stuff burns. Probably. Look at those sparks. It's just insane. Got a flame. Nothing throws sparks like the Austrian ferro rods. They don't believe me. But even this Swedish company here, they make ferro rods as well. They buy the same blanks as me. Austrian ferro rods. 1 centimeter thick. They're thicker than the light my fires. And you can tell you get probably, like they say, you get 8 to 10,000 strikes out of this. And I believe that.
Yeah, the sparks are dancing.
The sparks are dancing, eh? So, 2 stainless steel knives. This one is sub 20 euro. This is sub 100 euro. But that's of course, I mean the tapered tang, like the micarta, completely stainless, completely water resistant, Sandvik steel. And it's still, that's end grain, right? There's no drag in the knife at all because it's this full height convex grind, full height hollow grind. These small knives they're big small knives, that's what I call them, right? Because it's a full hand grip, and at the same time, if you're inside an animal with this thing like that, there's no danger, right? You're just sipping it open. Boom, boom, boom. Also with this nice drop on the tip there, this like recurve on the top, you're gonna sip the thing open without piercing anything if you want to, right? Just run it all day. There was a custom of this one as well when Ellenwood was still making knives. But this one here's the production version, and I find this amazing. It's an amazing knife. Also for food prep, like this is just, this is so fun. I love this thing. And the knife is the only option you still have, right? And you think about batoning something or like doing something silly with your knife, it's just gonna put it in danger. And there's always a danger when batoning to break your knife, right? Because there is a certain hardness to the steel and there's only so much toughness. You can baton these, so if you need to get some kindling, yeah, sure, baton this guy, so you get the fire started. But other than that, you can help yourself for days with these little dead trees that are standing everywhere. And you just run them over like that. No need to put your knife in danger, breaking or anything. Right? There you go, firewood.
Alright guys, so as you can see in the background, we got a new mini GOSO stove that we're going to be testing out here. We just want to say thank you to the people at GOSO for giving us this. I don't know if it's a prototype or if it's out yet, but guys, go to their link, check them out. Really good Canadian made company, and there's a bigger version of this if you want to check that out. But yeah, we're gonna see how this will cook up some pork chops.
The bros brought some gadgets.
Where's the tongs?
Right here.
Are they too slippery?
I just don't want to get the bacteria on them until there's
Oh, okay, yeah.
been a bit of burn. Fire's too big right now. Okay, so I'm almost done here with the GOSO, their new mini stove or cooktop, GOSO mini cooktop. And I've got 3 pork chops, all a decent size. One of them's pretty thick, and then so I've kind of got to dance them around a little bit around the heat. And then I've got some large hot dog wieners on top, just warming up to kind of top us off after we finish the pork chops. So I think the size is perfect. I mean, I've used the original one. I've used it quite a bit, and there was, for me personally, there was a lot of surface area that I never used. So the surface area here is perfect. I would say for what we're doing right now, what it's designed for, the surface area is perfect. I'm sure there's an application for the bigger one, but I mean, I have a family of 4 and I'm camping with 3 guys right now, and this is still plenty of size for what we're doing. If you want to get adventurous, then you've got to look into other things. But what I'm finding here, surface area is perfect. 3 chops. I could easily have a 4th chop right here. I could have other stuff, you know, going on right here. I could have veggies up here warming up. Once I take these off, I'm gonna move these down lower. But the only thing I would say is, so when David told me GOSO sent us the new unit, it's quite a bit smaller, I was pretty pumped. I was thinking it'll slide neatly into the back of a big pack. I have a 70 liter, so I can see this when it's folded up easily slide neatly into the back of it. It could also be on the outside attached. So the size that it breaks down to is perfect for backpacking. I don't care what anyone says. I think this is a great size for backpacking, for canoeing, for canoe camping, and that type of thing. I was still a little bit shocked at the weight. I couldn't believe that something that packed down to about 1 inch thick and the size of a bigger shoebox in dimension was as heavy as it is. And the only thing I can think of personally is that it needed that gauge of metal to not melt and warp sitting over a fire. That, I'm guessing that's probably it. So I'm not sure where more weight could be shaved off. Maybe these holes could be a little bit bigger here. I don't see much going there that's going to fall through. And if anything is going to fall through, somebody can have, we all carry plates and pans with us that can sit in a fire. I mean, everyone's cook set can sit in a fire. So you can put a plate on there if you think that these grates are too widely spaced. I think the grates could be a little bit wider apart to shave some weight off, and you could still have that heavier gauge metal that they're using here. That's just my take on the engineering of it, personally. But like I said, square footage is perfect. Folds down perfect size, and just a little bit heavier than I thought it was going to be. So let's see how these chops are doing. That is also done and almost in the fire. And this big guy right here, I'm thinking he's almost done too. Okay, so I'm about to have my last hot dog here, and cooked everything on it that I needed to. Last year Labor Day weekend, we took the big one, the original one, and it was packed fully separate. It was another thing we had to carry, gear, all this stuff, and the big GOSO. It cooks great, but it's definitely not meant for that. So we'll see if we can get past the weight on this one and give it a good test. But as of right now, it's definitely a thumbs up. The square footage is great.
So, we've come to the end of our trip. We've had a lot of good times.
We're just breaking down camp now. We did end up staying 2 nights here at the camp. The way the trip went, it kind of just kept pulling us back to here. I guess hanging out with Max the last 2 nights was really nice. It was nice to have somebody to come back to and cook with and share a few stories with and some suds with.
Yeah, it was cool to kind of always break up the dynamic, because for a lot of the times it's the bros doing stuff or we're doing something by ourselves. So kind of when you have someone new, it's kind of new stories.
Mm-hmm.
Your stories aren't as stale when you tell them to new people.
Yeah.
And just talking about life and stuff that is going on in our lives and stuff that we've been through, and it's just kind of war stories. And like that's the power of like hanging around a campfire and going camping, is you don't get all this distraction and kind of like oh, my phone's buzzing, oh, my kid did this, oh, it's concentrated time getting to know people. And a lot of what Muskoka Bros is getting to know ourselves and other people. And it's a really cool kind of journey that we're on, and we've got to meet so many people, so many great people through doing this. And it's really opened our eyes to the knowledge of, say, social media, our camping skills, just getting advice on stuff that we might not see because we're closer to the beginning and they are further ahead of us. So it's just one of those things where getting advice from these people is it's what we need, so that when we're out we don't make big mistakes.
Yeah, first-hand advice is always so much better. And so there's a lot of social media, Facebook sites where you'll just type in, hey, I'm going to this lake on this weekend, any ideas, any thoughts, what should I look out for? And you're going to get like a million comments on, oh, I've been there and do this, or do that. But when you actually have a conversation with somebody who's actually been there and done that, and just as an example, we reached out to a few social media people that know Temagami, and they got back to us with good advice, and we did take some of that advice, and we checked a few things out. But in person, just running into Max here, WOODSMANS Finest, who happens to call Temagami sort of his second home when he's not in Europe or in Japan or so
his homeland.
Exactly. So it was just great to look at a map, and he could go, you can stay here, here, and here, but watch out for this, and there's a dam here, and you're going to portage around here. And when someone can look at a map and they know it in their head, that type of information is invaluable.
For sure it is. And getting the first hand, like, social media is great. I'm not knocking it. We thank anybody that's given us advice through there, but when you kind of talk to them and kind of see the passion in their eyes that this is what you want if you want this, and just giving us that kind of advice and getting fired up one-on-one for a trip is really cool experience. So we've paddled, kayaked, canoed, fished, had good times in Temagami. Like, we got to see the town a bit, and
cooked on the GOSO.
Actually, that was like, the chops last night were fantastic.
You're welcome.
I didn't say thank you, so thank you, Matthew. And you're like, I know you didn't say thank you.
It's implied, but at the same
yeah,
time, it's nice to
it's
hear.
nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my bad. Yeah. So yeah, so we got to use the GOSO, and we kind of gave our opinion on it, and we really want to say thank you. You guys are awesome. Check them out. They have this new product. They have a bigger version and a smaller version that you might want to check out. We'll put the link in the description or in the comments or somewhere. You'll find them if you kind of look further down on this video. But yeah, so we just want to thank you know, the people of Temagami. Everybody's very friendly.
Thank you, friends of Temagami,
Yes.
for the work you guys do to keep this place beautiful and known.
Exactly. And it seems like it's a place that's very it's less traveled than, say, Algonquin. And like, I love Algonquin personally, but kind of expanding where we go and what we do is, you can't be so narrow-minded to just go to one spot. You kind of have to go everywhere to be like, I like this, I don't like that. But we love Temagami so far, but this was a kind of a scouting mission for us, to get oriented, to see what future trips would look like, and we like what we see so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, we're just breaking down camp. We're gonna go meet up with Max again, and we're probably gonna have some coffee, share a couple more laughs, and then we're gonna head back home.
Probably bacon and eggs too.
Bacon and eggs, bakey eggs. Yeah, it's important. So, you know our ending. If you like this video, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and most of all,
You just got to get out there.
in the words of Dylan,